but most of these people who are signing up want to be there. Well, when you look at Metro, do they have to be there? That's good though, because I think once you're there, you probably appreciate it. But I don't want to go, twist my arm. But the results are.
But that's a really good point. It's like taking the medicine. It's like when you're a kid and the doctor says you feel really bad, and the doctor says you have to take the medicine. And you're like, I don't really have it. But then once you start taking it, you're like, oh, this is not that bad.
And I'm asking this because I would hope so. Do you see an increase in funding because you're taking this initiative within the community with corporate sponsors, corporate partners? Because this is becoming such a diverse community that it's needed?
Absolutely. We're really seeing an expansion of the Diversity and Dialogue program. It's been in the community now, especially Dialogues on Racism, for over 10 years. And word of mouth is the greatest thing out there. And so people are really spreading the word throughout their workplaces, their places of worship, in their neighborhoods, in their communities, and so more and more people each year are going through these dialogues, and yes, we're seeing a tremendous increase and expansion in the program here in this community.
Well, and I think I'm making an assumption here with someone like Vanderbilt, who's very diverse on a employee base, and whose culture is probably very more accepting than if you go to another corporation, because I mean, I'm sure they have people, but where it's more accepting, and then people who are, the culture is not accepting, they're learning how to do so, that it's okay, that this is kind of neat, and embracing it. Do you find that friendships evolve afterwards? I mean, marriages? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, because I'm sure it's going to be a passionate group talking.
Absolutely. Actually, when I went through a dialogue circle as a participant before I became a volunteer facilitator, I'm still in touch with those folks that I connected back then somehow. And then folks, just run into each other. Someone had, I think Kim, you said you had facilitated. Can you tell a story about someone in Metro that? Go ahead.
Yeah, we have so many great stories about, and I'm also a facilitator, and without question, the relationships that are built in these groups are just incredible. And in one in particular, there were two ladies from, one person was white, one person was black, from basically the same community, and it was fascinating.
Community meaning in proximity?
Yes, in terms of where they grew up, in their neighborhood, in terms of where they grew up, and really seeing their struggles from a racial perspective, and how there was healing that happened between those two women, by these two women going through a Diversity and Dialogue group, and there was tremendous healing that started happening between those two women, but then it also spread to their families. So that's just one of the many, I think, stories.
And do you capture these stories, or is there an opportunity to capture them?
Yes,
as testimonials.
And that is exactly what we were talking before we started. These alumni reunions really allow to capture that information from folks that say, because sometimes immediately the change doesn't happen. People might go up a year and then run into you and say, I was thinking about you the other day because this such and such a thing happened. So we started capturing this information in a document, and we also start capturing at the end of each dialogue circle, we have an evaluation. And participants, we allow about 15-20 minutes so that participants really think about it, and they evaluate the facilitators, they evaluate the program, and then we give a space there to kind of share just any thoughts. And some of them, for example, in this flyer we have from our participants, and we share that information. A lot of what this program does, Cristina, is really challenge assumptions. I moved to this country with assumptions. I got more assumptions after I really started challenging those, and I do them all the time, and it becomes like this new skill you do. You kind of stop yourself and you're like, wait a minute, I see someone walk through the door and I already have this identikit of that person. Well, with this, I kind of clear that out, and so it kind of removes this barrier. I can engage not just in a better conversation, but from a work point of view, it's much more productive.
I think if you're going to continue with success, apparently the number of people signing up, great coverage in the media, so your press person is doing a great job, knowing that now we have Clergy of Tolerance, groups like that, Nashville for All of Us. We have so many different nonprofits trying to encompass the diverse community that we have that has moved here, but also we know that there's a lot more hate crimes and people feeling that are taking over their town. And how do you reach out to those people that maybe should be there but don't even want to come? I mean, is there opportunity that way through churches or different things like that? I mean,
I think word of mouth is really going to be a key cornerstone of all of this, because when a person goes through this experience, it really changes their life. I mean, as Diana has said, what she was saying about what happened in her own life, and we hear that repeated so many times, and people go out then and share it with their friends.
And I think what we're going to do as we wrap up in sharing with your friends, we're going to put on the screen the Scarritt-Bennett.org website, and obviously under that is your dialogue on racism, which is your winter series beginning in February, spring and then fall again, and then you have the dialogue on immigration, and those you can get all the details there on what your needs are. So are you still looking for facilitators, or do you
always looking for facilitators?
Yeah, facilitators. Well, thank you both very much for being on the show. I think it's just a great and amazing program you have that I think is just spreading like wildfire. So congratulations and continued success and good luck, okay?
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining Que Pasa. Join us every week as we talk about the opportunities and challenges Latinos and issues come to Middle Tennessee. Gracias.